Faces of CRPS is a docuseries presenting real people with CRPS, complex regional pain syndrome, also known as RSD, reflexive sympathetic dystrophy, and causalgia. These conversations are graphic and largely unedited, their purpose being to allow a glimpse into life with CRPS, the most painful condition on the McGill Pain Scale. Each interview is unique and showcases one or two experiences in hopes that lawmakers, physicians, health educators, families, and friends will understand it and see the effect that medical gaslighting and the laws surrounding opioids are having on pain patients. We hope our stories inspire and educate you about this horrid disease. Trigger warning. Graphic pictures and language, talk of self-harm, and explicit descriptions.
This is what CRPS feels like. You're on fire. Literally on fire. You feel like you're dying. You look around, nobody else can see it. But you feel like you're dying and you're on fire and you're sitting in a pool of lava. Your leg will be affected, your arms, your face, everything, your organs. It's only been 2 years for me, but I have it everywhere. I've got it from the top of my head to the bottom of my toes. And my only saving grace is that I didn't have it in my left hand. And this past weekend, it got in my left hand now. So that's been fun. We all had goals and ambitions. And we just want to live our life before this disease came and took it over for us. And it's not about being strong-willed and just power through it. There's no powering through this. I was tough. I still am tough. I was a ranch hand. I could wrestle calves, 100-pound calves, 200-pound calves. I've been knocked over by cows, thrown, bucked off horses. You name it, I've had it done. And I just kept on working. This took me down. So I'm just trying to get awareness for us all so we don't have to live in this hell anymore. See, CRPS, this is how I spent my mornings. Out with the cows and checking on the babies, checking on waters. Beautiful. And this guy, I took him from the pasture because he was a bum calf and he wasn't going to survive. So I took him home so that, he could survive and we'd take care of him. But I could lift 100-pound calves, no problem. And that is how we would haul hay at the ranch I was on. There's many ways to haul hay, but this was the way we did it, and I liked it. It was pretty efficient. I was 33 bales on that hay wagon. And that's Jimmy. I called him Jimmy off Yellowstone because his elevator didn't go all the way upstairs. And that was my favorite horse that I ever rode. His name was Snip. And he was terrific. We rode so many miles, so many adventures. And that was me and him going out to gather bulls out of the heifer pasture that they were in. And that was one of my favorite calves. Her name was Julie, I called her. And she just loved getting scratches. She would push her way through to find me. That was the day after I broke my arm when all this started. And I was out raking hay the next day. Couldn't stop me. That was exactly 2 weeks before this all started. That was just a calf that was having a hard time latching onto his mom, so we brought them home so we could watch them, and I was feeding him, making sure that he got some milk in his belly. That's him and his mom. She was a good girl. After I got done taking care of them, making sure that they were all good to go, my friend had to go to get a good butt shot of me. And that was after we got done haying for the day. We were cleaning out the machines and greasing them, getting them ready for the next day, and got a little dirty that day. There I was branding a bull, and there I am raking hay. I remember that tractor didn't have air conditioning. It was a little warm in there. And then there I am shoeing a horse. At that place, we had they had about 80 or so horses, and they would lay them down on a table, make it easier on our backs. And that's how we would shoe the horses there. I loved waking up early so I could see the beautiful sunrises. And then I could go see the elk. The last ranch I was on, we had 10,000 acres and 1,100 cows. And I was the only ranch hand for that. Boy, do I miss it. I am Lana Reynolds, and I am a proud member of Faces of CRPS.
Okay, Lana. Man, I've never had anybody say that. Now I feel proud.
Well, we're a very unique group.
We are.
There's-
We're on fire, man. There's not very
We are, literally.
Before we get started, I wanted to thank Griffin IT Technologies for helping sponsor our series.
I first started back it was August 2nd, 2022, when I broke my right arm. Stupid mistake. I tripped, broke it, and I didn't realize that's when the CRPS started. I just knew I was in a lot of pain. And
Which arm was it?
right arm, right there, proximal humerus. They didn't have to do surgery at that point.
And how long ago was that?
August 2nd, 2022. Going on 2 years ago.
Okay.
I just kept it immobilized for 2 weeks, and then I did some physical therapy. I was still in a lot of pain, which surprised me. I always heard that, a break is better than having a sprain. And I've had sprains that didn't hurt as bad as this did.
So what did the pain feel like? Can you describe it?
It was like throbbing. My arm went numb like the whole time. It felt like my arm was in a vice grip, like the whole thing. And then it felt like I'd been beat with a hammer, with, nails scraped down. It was bad. It was really bad.
And what did the doctors say and do for you?
They told me to toughen up pretty much. They thought I was exaggerating my pain. They didn't understand why I was in that much pain still. But then I got surgery for a rotator cuff because they thought maybe it was the rotator cuff why I was in that much pain still. I did have torn rotator cuff and bicep, and a torn labrum. So they repaired that in January of 2023. Then it just got so much worse. This would be completely mottled all the way down. Even my face would be mottled. I stayed working. I was working on a ranch still. I stayed working there. I just pushed through it. I didn't know why I was in that much pain. Everybody said I should be not in that much pain still. I just had to toughen up, keep pushing through. One of these days it'll just stop, hopefully.
How soon after the rotator cuff surgery did it spread?
It didn't spread until probably. Well, it didn't spread to my left. It spread to my left foot. I'd say it was probably October, November.
October, so about 8 or 9 months. It was already down in your left foot.
Yep. It also started affecting my thyroid. I'd say probably July, August is when I started having symptoms of my thyroid. I started gaining a bunch of weight. I gained 60 pounds now. I'm finally starting to lose some weight.
So did the weight because of Lyrica or some other medications, or what do you think the cause of the weight gain was from?
I think it was, I started on gabapentin. And I did not like the way it made me feel at all. I could not wait to get off of it. I knew that it helped with the nerve pain. At that point, I didn't know it was CRPS. I just knew there was, it helped. But I was a zombie the next day for until about noon. I couldn't hardly function. I couldn't hardly know my name. It was bad. So
how many milligrams did they put you on?
Between 600 and 1200.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Are you still on it now?
No. I am only on 100 milligrams of Lyrica right now.
Yeah.
And I want to get off just because of the weight thing.
Yeah. What did they give you for pain medicine?
As of right now, or since it started?
Since it started and now.
They told me pretty much Tylenol or ibuprofen. they thought I was, making it up, exaggerating. And then I got some muscle relaxants. I think that helped a little bit. But then I never really got them again because nobody wanted, they thought I was drug seeking. They didn't believe that I was in that much pain because where I was living, nobody, deals with anything more than a cold.
Yeah.
It was a little podunk town.
And did you ever fire those doctors and get some new ones farther away, or what happened?
Yeah, I moved. I moved away in, October last year. I was referred to a pain specialist up in Rapid City, South Dakota, which was about 2 hours from where I was living. And he saved my life. Like, he actually believed me. He's seen this before. He's treated people. And he instantly thought, CRPS, and he got me on the right journey to get diagnosed, and finally got diagnosed.
That felt good to be believed, didn't it?
Oh my God, yes. Yeah. I mean, I'd go to, so many, one time at the doctor office I was going to, I sat out in the waiting room for an hour crying, and everybody, all the nurses, everybody just walked right past. Like I was invisible. I had an appointment at like 12 and I didn't get seen till 1.
So how long do you think it took from the time it started until you moved and got diagnosed? How long was that?
See, it started August 2022. I got diagnosed December of 2023. And then January, my doctor told me that I need to quit what I'm doing. He's never seen it spread so fast. And he said that it was because of me working and doing the physical jobs that I was doing that made it spread so fast. And I was in a really bad spot physically. I could not function. I was not even getting up off the couch. I couldn't even get a drink of water by myself. It was scary. It was really scary.
So what did the pain doctor give you as far as treatment or medicine?
He started with the ganglion nerve block. We tried that the first time. I was at like a 0 on the pain, 0. And I was so happy. I left there crying. I was so happy because I hadn't had a 0 for so long. And I was like, yes. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And then time,
how long did it last?
Like 12 hours.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah. And then I came back like 2 weeks later, and got the nerve block again. Didn't do a dang thing. Didn't do a thing that time. Then tried it again, and I think it helped make the spread even worse. So I quit trying. I didn't do the nerve block thing again. I did do, then I moved. I was in the process of moving back here to Rapid City. By that third shot, when it wasn't working, I was like, I guess I'm done for. Like, I can't continue going down this path. I had to look out for myself.
Did they give you narcotics of any kind?
Yeah. He gave me hydrocodone.
That's kind of a low medicine.
Yeah. It didn't even help at that point either. Nothing was helping. I couldn't find anything. I tried lidocaine patches. I tried all sorts of vitamins. I tried everything. I threw the kitchen sink at myself. I was trying everything to get better.
So did you finally find a doctor that would give you higher doses of opiates to make it go away?
Nope.
Not yet.
Nope. No, they don't much care for even prescribing that. But I will say I got spinal cord stimulator done in March, and that has helped out a lot. I can function again.
Oh, good.
Where I was not, I couldn't even get out of my pajamas all day. Like, I might be good for like an hour, but then that was it. Like, I don't know, the fatigue, the pain. Oof, that was bad.
So they did the surgery to put in the stimulator. They put that in your neck?
Yes.
Or did they put in one or two stimulators?
Well, I got one for my bladder also. And I've had that since, 16 years. Yeah, I've had that one for 16 years. I've had it replaced 3 times now. But the one for it stops the pain to my arm, and it's actually helped with my foot too. I don't have the swelling that I was in my arm or my leg, thankfully. I still have a little bit of a nerve pain, but for the most part, it's livable.
Is your hands or your feet red and mottled ever now?
Sometimes not to that extreme that it was.
Are they today red?
No.
Oh, that's good.
No. Yeah.
So explain the temperature. How does your body handle temperature now, and what does it do?
I definitely can't handle cold. I swell up, my face swells up, like it looks like I got stung by bees. My brain shuts off. I can't handle cold at all.
Does your body parts get cold?
Yeah. Yeah. And once I get cold, I stay cold no matter what. I can go in a hot tub and I will still be cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is your entire body one temperature, or is it different spots, different temperatures?
It changes almost by the hour. Like sometimes my face will be hot. And then it'll turn to my arm, then it'll turn to my leg, then it'll turn to my stomach, then it'll turn to my knees. Sometimes it'll be hot, sometimes it'll be cold.
So,
I usually have to keep makeup on, otherwise people think I'm an alcoholic or something because my face is always red now.
Oh, yeah. How has it affected your social life and getting around and stuff?
I gave up. I gave up on. I avoid going out. I couldn't even walk more than 100 feet before I got the spinal cord stimulator. I use a wheelchair if I'm going grocery shopping. I don't hang out with anybody anymore. And usually, I don't know how the day is going to turn. I don't know how much pain I'm going to be in, So I just stay at home for the most part.
Do you have a support system? Anybody helping you at home at all?
My mom helps out a lot. She lives in the same town, thankfully. I stayed with her for about 2 months. And then I got my own place now.
How old are you?
I am 43.
43. Do you have children?
I have a 22-year-old son.
And how does he relate with your illness?
He's been very supportive. He knows, he believes, and he understands, that I'm in bad shape.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So, are you going to have to go find a doctor 200 or 300 miles away to get a pain clinic? Or what, how are you going to make this change better? Or are you just going to go with the stimulator and other things?
As long as the stimulator's working, I'm just gonna, see if I can get remission with this. I'm also doing vitamin C and some other vitamins that help too. I just kind of rest the body and hope that, whatever heals inside that went wrong.
Is it difficult? Is it difficult to do any kind of exercise or physical therapy?
Yeah. I started physical therapy last week because I haven't been able to use my arm for so long that I don't have function in my right arm. My left arm is 100%, and I'm trying to keep it that way. But my right arm is still, for so long, I couldn't even wash dishes because I couldn't even hold the scrubby. Washing my hair, just everything was really, really, really difficult.
When you touch things, what does it like? Everything feels sharp or what?
Sometimes I can stand it. I can't stand it if somebody else is trying to touch me, though. Just for one thing, I don't know how hard they're going to, even just do that. I can do that, but somebody else, I'm too sensitive. I don't want to get hurt there again.
Well, you had quite a career before. Tell me again what you did at the ranch.
I used to do everything on the ranch. I could go round up a pasture all by myself, horseback. I could go build fence, go fix fence, work on tractors. I could lift, 150 pound calves. I did all the doctoring for all of them, all on my own. The last place I was on, I was in charge of 1,100 cows, mama cows, and 10,000 acres. I was the only ranch hand for that whole place.
Wow.
And I stayed working there even with the CRPS for a whole year, over a year.
And that made it worse, though, didn't it?
It did. It made it way worse. If I could go back, I probably would have quit a while ago, but I wanted to prove how tough I was.
Yeah, and when you're not believed by other people, it puts pressure. You put pressure on yourself, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, gaslight myself.
So, do you have anything that you can do now with your limited mobility and stuff that you plan on doing or want to do, or what's your hopes and dreams?
Boy. I know now to be able to work on the ranch like I used to. Just it's the nature of this disease. If I get remission, it's going to come back. I mean, you can pretty much count on it. Even if I get remission, it'll come back. So, yeah, I'll never be able to.
Have you ever thought that maybe you could be a mentor or a teacher? Would that be
looked into it. I'd love to do that. That would be ideal. My dream, actually, for the longest time, is to have my own ranch to help troubled kids. Because I was a troubled kid and animals saved my life. And I want that for other kids.
Yeah.
I want, them to know that it's possible. You don't have to be that, grow up in that bad situation. You can come out of it.
Do you mind sharing your rough times, or do you want to keep that off the table?
I don't mind. Well, I don't know. It started pretty much since I was a baby. My dad used to beat me up pretty bad. We left when I was 5 years old. And then Mom didn't choose very good men after that either. They molested, my brother and myself. Stepdad tried to sell me, but I turned him in to the police before he could accomplish that.
My gosh.
I was 13. I was when he tried that, and then 14 when the state took me away. And then I was custody of the state from 14 to 18. And nobody believed me then either.
Was there abuse in the foster care system?
Oh, bad. Yeah. Yeah. I was safer on the streets than in the places I was in. I ran away several times, but they'd always find me again.
What was the nature of the abuse that you had in the foster care system?
A lot of yelling. There was one treatment facility I was in that it was put with victims and perpetrators of sexual abuse. And so there was like 15 of us, and out of 15, there was me and one other girl that were only victims, survivors. And the others were perpetrators. And they would constantly tell, me and that other girl, how they would fantasize over us. And
Why in God's name? Why in God's name was that done?
Because I think that if you're with that situation, that you'll admit that you did that also, which.
So they were trying to help the perpetrators, basically.
Yeah, to come out and admit that they raped and molested other girls and boys.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Why would they expose you to that? That's just insane. Is that system gone now, I hope?
They don't do that anymore, thankfully. But it was traumatic. It was traumatic. I mean, the workers would come in my face and scream at me and tell me I need to admit that I did that. I was like, I'm not going to ever admit that because I would never do that. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Why, just because you were hurt, you would do that to somebody else. I don't want to do that to anybody. I don't want to make anybody hurt. If I hurt anybody, it's myself. That's it. I don't hurt anybody else.
So when you're a ward of the state or whatever, did they have somebody that, like one person that was kind of that you could talk to or anything, or how did you survive that?
I had a caseworker, but she was not very good. I mean, she put me in that situation, put me in a couple other bad, situations.
So you'd be in the facility sometimes, and then they would get you homes, and then you'd get abused there and then have to come back, or what?
They never let me. I went to a foster home twice. The first one was a bad situation. She didn't like that I was, come from abuse. Well, if you're coming into foster care, it's because you don't have a good home life.
Right.
And so she didn't want me around her daughters. So she made up some lie. And then I got transferred to another lady, and she was so sweet. I loved her. If I could have stayed with her, I wouldn't have been so traumatized. But they saw all of the abuse that I'd had from the time I was born, and they thought I needed more help. So that's where they put me in the treatment facilities to help with all of the abuse that I'd suffered, which their help was not not very good help.
So how long was you able to stay with the nice lady?
Like week.
Oh, was that all?
Yep.
Oh, that must have been horrible to have a taste of
Taste of
decency.
a nice lady. She was so sweet. She was so caring. I mean, she was fostering a little boy with fetal alcohol syndrome, and she was trying to adopt him, even though he was blind and, he didn't have, very good function. She wanted to adopt him still.
So what did they, when you get released, when you're 18, what happens there? Excuse me, what happens then?
They pretty much just tossed me out. I had a place. I had a little apartment. But I had no real life. How to adapt to real life. I didn't know what I didn't know what to do. I'd been in state custody, from 14 to 18. And then my mom, she was absolutely no help then either. I remember I was starving one time. I lost the apartment, so then I'm homeless. Didn't have a vehicle because I didn't know what to do. I didn't have a driver's license. I didn't know how to drive. I didn't know how to do anything.
So they didn't like put you in a halfway house or anything and get you a job or anything. They just send you out on the street, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So did you find jobs or how did you survive?
Well, I was getting SSI at the time, because I didn't know how to hold down a job. I didn't know what was, how to interact with society at all. Zero.
Right.
But that didn't, do much. Well, then I remember I went to my mom's once because I was starving, and I walked all the way over and I asked her for a PBJ, peanut butter jelly, and she said, "Nope, they told me I got to show you tough love." I'm like, you never showed me love in the first place. How can you show me tough love?
Oh my God.
That still sticks with me. She's trying to make up for it all now, but
Yeah,
still
that was really a popular thing in the 70s and 80s. I don't know whoever invented it is an idiot.
what, tough love?
Yeah, I mean, just the two words don't go together,
No.
but they put them together like it's something. So, well, I'm amazed that you got able to be a ranch hand and all that. How did you get into that?
It was 8 years ago. Well, I kind of grew up, with horses and cows. My aunts and uncles all had ranches, so I was familiar. I grew up riding horse. Well, then, I had a pretty rough patch 8 years ago, and I decided I needed to get back to my roots. So that's how I got back into the ranch life. And
Didn't you say that you found a nice man that helped you?
Yeah, 2 years ago, I started working for this guy, and he was amazing. He was so kind. He was about the closest thing I ever had to a real dad.
Oh, that's nice. Do you still stay in contact with him at all?
Yes. Yep. I
That's
got to
good.
see him 2 weeks ago. We still stay in touch. He wants me back really badly.
Maybe you
But
could ask him about just training people or stuff like that. You know, I don't know if you're able to do that even, but
yeah, I know we actually did talk about that. We did. Um, yeah, we did talk about. I did train somebody last year. Last summer, he actually paid, somebody to come help me because he knew I was not able to, do, like I was doing, work like I was. And he paid her to help me. And I taught her, how to properly fence and how to, do a lot of stuff.
yeah,
And she became like my little adopted daughter, too.
yeah. That's one thing with this disease. You have to adapt over and over and over in order to survive and to have any kind of a life. I've found that just having my kids call me or visit me is like what used to be just an ordinary day. Now it's like Christmas. I mean, I get so much joy out of just these small time periods of, because when you lose the ability to take yourself to them or to anywhere, you're reliant on their charity or their, wanting to come and help and see you. And I've really enjoyed the groups that are on Facebook. Even though they're virtual friends, they're friends of a tribe that we are all. And so you can talk to them about anything and they understand they're in the same boat. And that is so reassuring and
Yeah.
so I encourage you to be brave and know that 99% of them are going to just love on you and support you. Have you found any people that you've communicated with on any of the chat rooms?
Yes. This has been so helpful to me. When I first got diagnosed, my doctor told me I need to find some support groups online that, people have this also. And thank God he did, because I don't know what I would have done. So much information and, so much help that I've got since I got in this group here. I tried other groups and just didn't feel like a family like this has felt a family to me.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's interesting that we started out to make movies, but we end up being a support system. And, we all want to tell our story so much because not being believed and not being understood, it's a form of PTSD, I believe. And so I think that it's it's really the only way to do it. I mean, Shannon Hammer, she's got CRPS, and she and her husband came to the motel where me and my mom were to do an interview. And she's the only person I've met in person that has it. And so that was so mind-boggling in a way, because it's like being an alien and finding another alien on the
Yeah,
planet.
right. Well, Tony, she said she'd never actually met anybody with it. She's never met anybody. And, I actually have a couple of friends that, have it. And I'll admit, I was even guilty of saying, oh, you just got to learn to toughen up. And trust me, it's not about toughening up. It is not. If I was a rancher, okay, I was tough. I was the type, especially being a girl in that world, you got to be tough.
Yeah.
You got to. So if anybody could toughen up, I was going to toughen up. And I couldn't even do it. Yeah. So
what advice would you give somebody who just recently found out that they have CRPS?
Got to learn to grieve. Because, man, what you could do before is going to change. What you thought you could do is going to change. Your body's going to give up on you. And there's different degrees of it. I don't know. I've had some people say I've got it pretty bad. Compared to others, I don't know. I think I've got it pretty easy compared to others, though. I've seen some pretty bad ones.
Yeah. Have you how do you get around? Do you have to walker, or how do you go from one place to another?
I've been able to walk without even a walker or a cane, because I wanted to do a walker, but I can't use my right arm. Any use of that so I was using a cane, but I haven't even had to use that for a few months. So I'm grateful for that. I do kind of pick when when I do stuff, and how much walking I do. Otherwise, I still get some swelling in my foot and my arm. But I definitely don't go doing 20,000 steps a day like I used to. Before I was doing like 500 steps.
So give me kind of a rough draft of a common day for you. From when you wake up, what do you do until bedtime?
Well, I'm on thyroid medicine now for the rest of my life. So I have to take that as soon as I wake up. Then I just stick with water pretty much all day now. And then if I go to physical therapy, that's about the most I do.
How do you get there?
I drive down there.
Oh, you're able to drive still. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some times where I probably shouldn't have, but just because, man, it's in my left leg, thankfully. And then so I drive with my left arm, and then I use my right foot for gas and everything.
Oh,
But there's sometimes, where it even affects my eyes, like everything gets blurry.
yeah. So, do you consider yourself full body CRPS? Do you have it from head to toe?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. My
Just
fingers will get mottled and blur, and then my eyes will even get blurry. Um, they've checked me out for a stroke at least once. Because my vision was blurry, my speech was slurred. Um, I had vertigo. I mean, I had all the symptoms.
so
But yeah,
you get up and you take your thyroid medicine and you drink water, and then
and I usually don't. I might have some oatmeal. Yeah, I eat breakfast. Um, I don't know. I'm trying to be more active. I try to take the steps to go down. I'm on the third floor right now. I try to take the steps. Usually I just take the elevator though.
have you had any falls?
Thankfully, no. I'm very careful of that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I know if you fall and bust something else, it's going to make that spread to the CRPS spread there. So I avoid, I really am very cautious now.
Yeah. So, how is it? Is it difficult to prepare meals and to do daily activities? Tell me about that.
I don't cook like I used to. Um, for one thing, doing dishes is still difficult with my arm. Um, even chopping up meat, chopping onions. Since it was my right dominant hand. Um, so a lot of times it's kind of easier stuff to do, like oatmeal, cereal, sandwich, soup.
Have you had to adapt your house at all or your place?
Um, well, right now I'm living in apartments that are handicap accessible. I had a beautiful 3-bedroom house that I had to give up, and now I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, did they have sound drills in the bathroom or stuff like that for you?
Yep.
Well, that's good.
Because of the CRPS, um, and back in May, I got my teeth pulled so that I could be able to smile again. And it was a risk to get the spread to my face and my head. It was a risk, but I decided to go through with it because it needed done. And, if it spreads, it spreads.
How many teeth did you have pulled?
16
Oh my gosh.
all at once that same day.
But
And
the CRPS, you think, definitely made it worse?
yeah, it affects it affects your calcium. In your vitamin D, the CRPS, it depletes that. And so that's what causes, loss of the gums and the teeth. I've known a lot of others that have had tooth problems.
Yeah, I've heard of it too. So, did you replace them with dentures or what?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I can smile
Well,
again at least.
I would have never known.
Yeah.
Got some good ones. You got
Yeah.
some good choppers.
Yeah.
So you went to the dentist and your CRPS, did it start in your mouth or where did it start originate in your head?
I'd say just the face mainly. Like, um, my face get bright red. I get rashes on my neck pretty easily. I can't go out in the sun anymore. My face breaks out in a rash. I start to overheat like that. I can't, yeah, I have to be very conscious of how much 5 minutes at a time, and that's it. Any more than that, and I'm not doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the hot days. I just stay inside because it literally feels like I'm being like blowtorches on me, my whole body, my face. That one's pretty rough. You feel like a blowtorch. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's rough.
So um can you get out in the sun and have some of your body parts get vitamin D? Like your back
I went
or,
out in the
or any
shade.
parts of your body? Can they, or is your whole body affected so you can't get any of it in the sun?
Yeah. Well, even sitting inside with, just those shades open just a little bit, my body starts reacting. It just doesn't like seeing sun right now.
So you get all your vitamin D through pills?
Yeah.
That's just a shameful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not fun being stuck inside.
Maybe we should call this a vampire disease. Makes us
Yeah.
recluses and we're not allowed in the light.
Yeah.
That's what this whole thing's about, is to bring this fucking disease out in the open. Well, you went to the doctor recently. Tell us about that.
Um, let's see, I went because I've been getting like real bad stabbing pains in my chest. Um, and lately it's been like right over my heart. And so I went to the doctor on Monday, just a couple days ago. They did an EKG. She was like, it's the CRPS. And anytime lately, whenever I drive, I get stabbing pains in my right foot. So I gave up driving a couple days ago. Uh, we're trying to get ketamine treatment. I still got to meet with the lady to get the treatments started, hopefully, if I can raise up enough money.
Yeah, at the end of this video, if anybody wants to help Lana with her ketamine treatments, which by the way, ketamine treatments aren't paid by anybody but the person themselves out of pocket. And Lana is on government assistance, so she has no resources. So if you could help her out, look for the link below and donate whatever you can. Every little dollar helps, because ketamine is one of the only things that works. as far as
Yeah.
pain relief. You can take tons of narcotics and it will barely
Take the
take the
edge.
edge off.
Yeah, just
And Lana's never been able to have experienced it once, so I really want people to donate and help her out. Let her have a trial at some pain
yeah,
relief.
have a day of zero pain.
Um, didn't you say also that it affect your heart?
The bradycardia is caused from my I don't have a thyroid anymore. Well, it stopped working anyways. I have it, it just doesn't want to work. Um, and so the bradycardia is caused by the thyroid not working. I'm on thyroid medicine, but we're still getting it adjusted. After several months, it's a process I've learned. Um, and then the tachycardia is more than likely from the CRPS too. It jumps up to 173. That's the highest I've got it. And I'll just be sitting here at or trying to get the clothes out of the dryer or something stupid easy. And I just get dizzy and I have to sit down, I lose my breath. And then I lose my energy because it takes it out of me when I get those episodes. They haven't figured out exactly why. They just want to say CRPS.
And your thyroid was perfectly fine before you got CRPS, right?
Yep. I was on 0 pills before. 0. I was fit, I was active, and I was a, ranch hand. So I was just, yeah, I would travel around the country, go work on ranches, and now I can hardly get out of bed some days. And it's not lack of try. It's my body just gave up.
How many feet can you walk at a time?
Depends on the day. Um, I say I average like 3,000 steps a day.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah.
Is your knees affected by it?
My right knee.
But not your
Uh,
left so much?
or no, my left, from my left knee down is all affected by it. It turns, it swells up, turns blue.
What about
Uh,
your right?
it's starting over there. I I get the stabbing pains. It's pretty painful to walk.
You must be tough because weight bearing for me um, became impossible to where I just gave up and had to be in a wheelchair. I'm so impressed by you. I'm amazed that you're going as long as you've been going.
I on physical therapy, I do physical therapy in a pool, and on Monday I couldn't even put any weight even in the water on my feet because it hurt so bad, even in the water.
Yeah.
That one blew my mind because there's no pressure in the water.
Yeah, you weigh half your body weight when you're in the water, so it should be easy to do, huh?
Yeah.
How often are you able to do water therapy?
I go twice a week right now.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's I think it for me, water therapy is the only kind of therapy for CRPS. I mean, and
Yeah.
the reality of thing, my head space is good in the water. My
Yeah.
body feels almost like a human being.
Yeah. Yeah. You can, you know, do some exercise, do some range of movement that you couldn't do otherwise.
Well, that's good. So, um, you made that video that I really liked on TikTok with you showing your hand on fire and stuff. Why do you think so many of us use fire as a resemblance of CRPS?
Because it literally feels like you're sitting in lava. Uh, I feel that almost like daily. Um, or, you know, when I'm outside, it feels like somebody's got a blowtorch right to my face, right to even if I'm wearing like sun protective clothing, it still feels like I got a blowtorch on me. And I'll look, and sure enough, I mean, even my arms all red. And then, you know, sometimes you get ice cold. I can always tell if I overdid it because my nose will get cold. Well, first it get hot and then it get cold, like all through here.
Yeah.
And then I know the next day is gonna be rough, and I pretty much just cancel anything for the next day by then.
Yeah, that's what's really strange about this disease is your feet can be cold, your knees can be hot, your hips can be warm, your chest can be cold. It can skip whole areas from heat to cold.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's pretty wild to feel, you know, ice cold, burning hot.
That's why I think it's so imperative that everybody has access to water because I found that water, if you stay in it long enough, not, I mean, remember the other day you said you could even be in a hot tub and your legs would still be cold?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
but if you stay long enough, it seems to, for me anyways, it seems to even it out to where a lot more even than in air anyways.
yeah,
And so, and I think that's the key is having equilibrium of temperature because having such drastic changes throughout your body is got to be traumatic on it's on your psyche. It really is. I mean, I remember the first time I woke up with my legs being cold the first night 6 years ago or whatever. I felt my legs and I'm thinking, and I was half awake and I'm thinking, why is there a dead body in my bed? Because it felt like it literally feels like a corpse. You're dragging around a corpse because for one thing, parts of it you have neuropathy, so you can't feel it, and then it's cold, so it's like, oh my gosh, I got a dead body that I'm dragging around, and it's just this disease is a you have to be a really strong. I think that we are superhumans. I think
yeah,
people that live with CRPS are superhuman.
yeah. Well, just keep trying to get an answer, you know, get awareness, get an answer for this, you know, because most of us were, you know, somewhat high functioning. You know, we had you know, we had ambitions, we had goals, and we had to give it up. Our bodies just quit on us. And I think that's what keeps a lot of us going is that we did have ambitions, we did have goals, but they changed now. Now our goal for one thing is to make it through the day.
Yeah. Well, I have some that I don't know how much we talked about, but I think we should. They call this the suicide disease. And I've struggled with the thoughts and even had some mild attempts. I think, well, I know my children keep me from doing it, from taking my life. And my own internal body says, no, you don't want to go that way. What keeps you healthy in the head from that? Or what, are you experiencing any thoughts of that sort?
Oh yeah, I even just a couple of days ago myself, I mean, I'd never go through with it, but man, I can't help but think about it sometimes because the pain is just so unrelenting. It just won't stop and it just keeps getting worse and it's spreading everywhere. And, now it's full body. The only, I am protecting my left arm at all costs. That's my only good limb. And I can't lose that.
Yeah.
Everything else is totally affected.
So your left hand is okay even?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
good for you.
yeah, yeah. Just keep it that way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I've got, my son also that keeps me going. Um, and I've got a lot of good friends in this group that, you know, I can call on at 2 o'clock in the morning, and that means so much. And that's, the other night when I was contemplating, I wasn't gonna go through with it. So I wasn't gonna bother anybody that night, but um I I've got a lot of good friends that, they'd miss me. I'd miss them. Well, I wouldn't miss them, but
Yeah.
um I want to get an answer. I want to get there's people that get remission. I had it once for a month and then it came back with a rear.
Yeah,
uh,
that's nice that you had that though, because that gives you faith that it's possible again, huh?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a very nice month. Got to go do, not be in excruciating pain 24/7.
They say that Lyrica can cause you to have suicidal ideations. I'm on Lyrica now, the highest dose I can take, and I haven't found it to be much worse than before as far as my thought process. Are you on Lyrica?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it's the Lyrica that was making me have those thoughts. I think it's this disease, the pain.
I think for some people it's a big game changer. I think I was already thinking about it anyways, but
Yeah,
But I think it
But
might be too the longevity that you're on it. Maybe that's something to take an effect. I don't know. Have you heard anything about the longer you're on it? If that does that, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Okay, we'll have to look that
Um,
one up.
I know if I don't take it, I'm in even more pain. I get the creepy crawly spiders throughout my whole body. And that's on top of everything else. I don't want to go through all that.
Yeah, the Lyrica pain for me, it helps with superficial pain, like the skin, the top layer of the skin pain, it seems to be. It doesn't really help the deep pain.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
how does Lyrica work with you?
Yeah, I found that too. Um, they started increasing my dose as of today again too. So we'll see. Because I've got a lot of nerve pain too. Um,
What's your dosage?
right now I'm on 1 in the morning and 2 at night.
So 300 total?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was told that 300 is the max, but then I looked it up online and it said 600 is um so I've been fudging around 400 and um I don't know, I don't like being on it. I last
Yeah.
time I gained a whole bunch of weight and right now I'm so skinny I need to gain weight, so hopefully I don't know how I gained weight last time on it, but I think I was more mobile and wasn't so sedentary and but this time it's just like the atrophy is insane. I mean, I weighed about 200 pounds when I started this thing and now I weigh 136, so I'm still down about 70 pounds. And other people I talk to, they gain tons of weight, and so it's really messes with your body weight too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it slows your metabolism. That's where I was told is it slows your metabolism because of the nerve, stops your nerves from firing. And so then that slows your metabolism. So then no matter what, I mean, I eat like a mouse and I'm also dealing with the thyroid on top of the Lyrica. So I gained 60 pounds from the time I started between the, thyroid quitting on me and the CRPS and the Lyrica. I think that it all played a role.
A lot of people I've talked to had traumatic childhood or traumatic events in their life, like psychological events in their life. Did you have any of those growing up?
Yes, my whole life.
Do you want to share any of those?
Um,
It's okay if you don't.
oh, I don't know what to say about it. It was not a good childhood. Um, everything that you can think of happened.
You went through the foster care system, huh?
I did. I got taken away by the state when I was 14 until I turned 18. And then pretty much just dumped me. Everybody dumped me. So I had to figure out how to do life. And it's been challenging, but I figured out, that I didn't want my child to be raised the way I was. So, I did my best to break that. And I did my best.
You're one of the nicest people I've ever talked to in my life. I swear. It's like I'm talking to a country girl from the 1950s or something. I don't know. You just spew wholesomeness.
Oh, thank you.
I love talking to you. You're always uplifting. I mean, you'll be having the worst day and you'll still answer my call. So,
But yeah, we're war buddies.
yeah,
Fire buddies.
yeah. What are some of the things you do for your head, like your eyes and your your mouth? And do you have you had to make modifications to to use your head?
Yeah. Um, even uh even when my face gets hot, nothing pulls it down either. I have to pull my hair back. That's one reason why I chopped my hair too. Back, I don't know, last month, because it gets so hot with it. Be down mid back at least. And then last month in June I couldn't walk for a couple days because of the CRPS, they believe. Still don't 100% know, but when in doubt, blame CRPS.
Yeah, tell us about that experience that you had a few weeks ago and you had to be hospitalized for a little while.
Yeah, it was a couple days after we last did this Zoom. Like literally about 2-3 days afterwards is I know that Friday that my face just turned completely red. And then 2 days later, I knew I was feeling weak. My heart was racing. And then after church, my legs just gave out. Couldn't walk. They had to carry me outside. And my mom ended up taking me to the hospital. And they did like a stroke protocol. They thought it was a stroke at first because I had some drooping on my left side too, I guess. But it wasn't a stroke. Who knows?
So what did they determine it might be or could be?
They still don't know.
So it just falls back to CRPS.
Yep. Yep. I did the MRI today and that was completely normal.
That was on your head, huh?
Yeah. Yep. My brain. Yeah. I figured it was gonna look like Swiss cheese, but nope, it's a normal brain.
The normal brain just happens to be on fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see it actually right now. I see the flames
Right.
going around your head, just like mine. Oh man, I don't know what I would do without you group of crazy girls. I mean, I've got the best job. I mean, there's probably only 10 guys in the group that I've ever talked to. All the rest are beautiful women like
Yeah.
yourself. Oh, I've got the job.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, thank you.
Thank
Let's
you.
You may not have pain now, but imagine being in an accident or needing an operation and being denied adequate pain medication. Please, make your voice heard. If you have CRPS, find a forum with people who truly understand. If you are considering self-harm, please call 988. What is one more conversation? Faces of CRPS, all rights reserved, 2024. A huge thank you to everyone who participated in the making of this docuseries. You and your stories matter. Envisioned and directed by Troy Thane. For more information, contact Troy at thane.com. Narration by Catherine Clement.
Thank you for joining us for the end of episode 2. We hope you enjoyed this journey with us. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for more exciting content. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.